The whole theme of this podcast is about opening up. And so without much further ado, I might as well ask my first question this evening. And is my first question to you guys is, are you able to open up, whether it's for work, emotionally, to friends, to family, in general, are you able to open up? As I
I mean, to answer the question, yes, I can, but do I open as regularly? No, no, I don't. With good reason.
we will fair enough, fair enough. And everyone else, what's everyone else generally like? Keep
No. Yeah, so I'm the same as for me.
Question. So when you talk about opening up, what do you mean specifically?
okay. So
Open up about what?
all right, so say if you have an issue with someone, okay, okay, we'll do that last. Okay, say work, for example, say work. Say, I don't know, someone is giving you something to do, but you're not really sure about how to go about it. Would you ask for help? Would you speak to the person? Well, in that case, your manager, would you ask them what do they mean? Or would you try and tough it out and just hope that somehow you figure out? We'll start with that.
Okay.
Right, so in that case, oh, sorry. Yeah,
no,
go.
Go for it. Go for it.
You sure? Okay, yeah, so in that situation, I know I don't like asking for help, so I'd just tough it out and see if I can do it with myself.
Right, you just vibes it and hope that.
Yeah, I don't like asking for help.
Me either. I won't lie. The thing is, I will get to a point where it's beyond. I would say, in a sense, it's beyond return. Maybe I won't last. Spent like 30 minutes trying to find a solution, and then I will go happily. I'll be like, I'm stuck, and literally most times the manager will be like, oh, why didn't you like come to me at first? And I'll be like, well, I could have came to you at first, but I do think sometimes it's a good experience and it's a good like learning thing to try and get stuff done by yourself before you're going to ask for help in that situation.
Okay. What do you think? Why do you think you do that then?
Me still.
Yeah,
you can.
Serena.
Yeah, you can go for me.
Okay, I just think I don't know. It's like, for example, obviously, like before I do digital marketing, so if my boss was to come to me and was like, "Oh, create a campaign, for example, for social media," and I wasn't sure how to do it, I'll probably like Google it first because I like learning stuff by myself first because I just think that's a good quality to have. And then if I see now I have to depend on that person and go back to ask them, then I'll happily do it. But I prefer to like educate myself first. I think it's important.
Yeah. Okay. So I prefer to learn myself as well.
Serena, so Serena, you're saying, but like Fumi said that eventually she would go and ask. Would you?
Yeah, I would, but I would stress myself first a lot before I would.
But why would you put unnecessary stress on yourself?
I don't know. That's just me. I like to get things done just for myself.
Okay, fair enough. Becca, Shima, what about you two?
You can go first.
Okay. So for me, in that specific situation, I'm the type of person that you tell me something, I don't get it, I'm gonna be like, what do you mean? Until I get it. Just because it will, in my line of work, it's literally a person at the end of it. Like there's no way that I'm not gonna know what to do with the sample and try to figure it out myself. There's just no way. I think that, but in general, I'm like that anyway. Like if I don't understand something, even if something's small, I'm like, what do you mean? Like I don't mind looking stupid because I've accepted I'm a foreigner. I can look a little bit stupid. I'll just act like I didn't understand your English and get away with it. But that to me is not a situation of opening up particularly. So, but in that situation, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I'm a bit similar actually, because I think I'd rather save myself the time and the effort by just clarifying. And quite often I'll like ask, okay, so do you mean this? Or I'll ask like, what do you mean? When they say, I'll try repeat it back to just make sure I'm on the right line. Because I personally, I'm just like, oh, I don't really want to like spend 15-20 minutes doing it, and then it's not really what they were thinking, and then I definitely look stupid because I got it wrong without even asking. So for me, I would rather ask and check, like Becca said.
Yeah, I'm from the same school as Krishma. I'll clarify what they want, then try to do it. If I'm still struggling, then at that point you gotta ask for help, because you can't come and kill yourself in the end. So, and in the end, you have to do whatever it needs to be done. So asking for help, if asking for help will get you to, in the end, completing the task, then I can swallow my pride and my ego to ask for help. So now, now moving off from that, how do you deal with it if it's you have a issue or a situation with like friends or family? How would you go about it in that way? You still same, what's the word I'm looking for? Same
Approach.
I was gonna say method, but approach is the same thing. Same method, same approach.
Well, what do you mean with family and friends?
So
Because you
say
wouldn't
you have an
quite.
issue, say you got an issue with a friend with how they do something, or a family member with how they do something, or situations happen where you feel like you don't like how so and so has dealt with it. Would you speak to them on it, open up about like, yo, listen, I don't like what you did there, or would you just keep mute, or just what would you do in that scenario?
I mean, for me, I think it depends like how close I am to them. Because if you know me, I can be quite blunt, tactless, straightforward. Like so many other synonyms I could use. Tommy, you know it. But that's only because those are the people that are near and dear to me. People that I'm close to, that I love, that I know will know it's coming from a good place. And that won't judge me for whatever I'm about to say. But if I don't really know you, or we're not really good friends, or we're not that close, I'll probably like rant about it to my close friend and not tell you, because I don't know if it's really worth telling that person anyway.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Like with me, if I'm talking to my family, I'm a very, very like, what's the word? I really like understanding people. Like I really want to understand why somebody did that. Is there something that I can work on? Like I'm always that type of person. Like has what I've done affected you that I can work on in a sense? So I feel like I would want to know what the issue is and for the person to clarify it. But like Krishna said, if it was somebody I don't know, I'm very much like, you've marked yourself in the sense. I know, like, I will give you that person a chance. Like, I'll give you another chance. I always give people second chances. But in the back of my head, I'm like, strike one. I'm not gonna like, oh, it's strike one. Because I'm there, like, people do stuff unknowingly. And unfortunately, that is their character. Like, you can't tell me that's them showing their true colors. So, strike one. That's my response.
Mm.
None of us are on strike one, are we?
No.
Okay, just.
You guys are good. It's only like if it's something like, I'm trying to even think, it's like if something was to happen and like someone was to be like, for example, rude to my friends, in my head I'll be like, well, that's a red flag. It's like a red flag in my head. But I'm like, I'm not the type of person who doesn't see red flags. If a red flag is showing my face, it's a bright red flag. So I'm there like, strike one. That's it. Unfortunately, I don't know how you'll take it.
It is what it is. Okay, that's interesting.
I think Becca was grading her answer. Is anyone watching?
No, I'm just.
Becca was giving us sign language.
I was agreeing with everything, because everything that's been said up till now, because I'm the same with my family. I'm very, very blunt, but to anybody else, it just seems rude.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. They know that about me, and they know that, like, I'll say if something's wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's only if I feel like they've done something wrong to me And I feel like if I speak up to them about it, they either won't understand or it will hurt them. That's when I'm like, because that's my family. They, it's never of their intention to do that. So I feel like those are the times where sometimes I keep it to myself. When it comes to my friends, yeah, I do. I open up and I'll be like, this happened. Just because, I don't know, I could have misunderstood. I often do that, which is why I ask, like, why? I'm the exact same as for me. I want to know why people did what they did, because I really could have misunderstood it.
Yeah.
But I do realize it's a bad thing that it comes to a point where sometimes I don't open up and I just drift away. And then they're like, what happened? I'm like, no, that's cool. Which is not very good. But it's just because, like, I don't have the energy to speak about it anymore. I'm so, like, I just need to, like, go away from the situation, honestly.
Even if you've spoken on the situation but nothing has changed, then you would like drift away. Is that what you're...
But I do speak multiple times. Do you know what I mean? And if it's not being heard and if they're not changing, well then why do I need to stress myself? Okay. And I tell this to, like, I would tell this to my friends. If you've spoken to them a couple of times and they haven't changed, just be civil. There's no need to be enemies. Just be civil.
Yeah, I agree. 100%, Becca. 100%.
I agree with that. But why? I'm not sure. Okay, how am I going to phrase this? I might sound mad saying what I'm about to say, but it is what it is. But from what experiences I've generally seen, guys tend to be more upfront with issues they may have with their other guy friends compared to girls who tend not to speak on anything male. Not they don't, but they're less likely to, and results into like massive outbursts. And I don't really know where I'm going with this.
I tell you something. It's because women are emotional. We think with our hearts. It's unfortunately the case, even though we don't want to and we don't want to admit it. And guys are logical. They just think with their heads. It's like a maths equation for them. Like, all right, you did this, I did this, you said this, I said that. All right, cool, we're all right, and that's it. They're done. They're good. They cleared the slate. But women are like, oh, but I felt this and you felt that, and she said that, and the other one told me this and whatever, and it just bubbles over. So, I've heard the expression that sometimes we're not expressive, we're like explosive.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I get that.
No, but you know what? I also think that girls, they tend to try and look over it until they just can't look over it anymore. Exactly. And then it turns out that they haven't actually looked over anything. They've just saved it all in a box to explode at the last moment, which is horrendous. You have not looked over anything.
This is literally why I'm such a person that's like, strike one, strike two, strike three, out. That's literally how it is for me. Just because in my head, I'm like, I'm a very much person that I will look over stuff, and I've done it previously, and I've like looked over. But then to me, I'm not also a person that gets walked over. It's not in my blood, unfortunately. It's not in my blood. So I will give you your strikes, and like the strikes I'm giving you are reasonable strikes. It's not like, I'm trying to think. It's not like, my friend didn't message me today, strike one. No, it's not even like that. It's literally like something happens and like my friend showed really bad attitude towards a situation when they could have just chosen to do another thing. Or my friend did something to someone who really hurt them, and I'm trying to explain it back to them, but they don't understand. And I'm like, is that a situation thing or is that a quality thing? So it's not like a case of like strike one, like this person is dangerous and this person's bad. It's like strike one, this person doesn't share the same point of view as me. Can that be a problem in the future? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
It's not forgive 77 times, it's forgive 3 times and you're right.
I mean, you're not my enemy. You're not my enemy necessarily. It just means it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't like the idea of getting walked all over. And I feel like a lot of times if you become the sort of person who's like, oh, okay, this person does this thing, oh, I just understand that maybe they're doing this today and like this happened to them, it will get to a point where you'll get walked over because that thing that they keep doing is not a one-off, it's a quality. And if somebody has a bad quality, then you need to express it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
What about you, Cece?
Yeah, you've been real quiet in
so-
the corner.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So yeah, with the family, I'll just say, but when it comes to friends, it really does depend. Like what for me is saying, especially if something becomes repetitive, like I'll either drift away or I'll literally just cut. Like I'll literally just cut.
So no ultimatums.
No ultimatum. Well, not so much now, but before it wouldn't be like one thing and I'll just be like, just go. It will be stuff we, you know, have built up, or if I've told you like what the problem is, and like what Becca said, I'm not being heard, like I just now more so I drift away. So it's like, yeah, what for me said, we're not enemies, but I won't be the same with you.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've lost that chance.
I can't be the same with you.
It'll be cordial.
Especially if I've expressed myself. That's worse.
Yeah,
I can't like that's like
especially if-
100% worse. Because
Yeah.
if I like obviously the topic of this, if I open up and I feel like, okay, because with me, I'm like, I don't wanna sort of be like, I hate to say because I hate this word, but I don't want to be a burden on that person with my emotions. So if I open up and I'm like, what you did hurt me because of this, this, and this, and this, and then you're sort of a person who's like, oh well, okay, I apologize for that, but I don't agree, then I'm like, okay, like I understand that you've apologized, but to me, an apology with no change means nothing. So if you do it again, strike 2.
Apology about actions means nothing.
But just words.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Just words.
Just words. And we're all about the action out here. Because action without words, what's the saying? Words, what's the saying?
Words, actions
Walk
speak
without
louder
the
than
walk.
words.
Oh,
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the saying. That's the saying. Very true. Very true saying. Very true saying. So off that,